The Morgan Report with David Morgan. Discover how to build and protect your wealth at themorganreport.com.
David Morgan with you with the weekly perspective for the week ending 1 August 2025. Well, it is publishing date. We publish the first Monday of every month, not on the first. So the first Monday, and that means what I'm going to show you, you're getting a bit of a preview depending when you watch this on X, or wherever we publish on social media. This will be uploaded shortly from this time on. Anyway, the opening thoughts always start with a quote. The illusion of wealth is not the same as wealth. A house of cards looks like a palace until the wind changes. So I went through kind of the macro picture, which I do in the editorial from time to time, talking about how the U.S. GDP is really 70% consumption. And if consumers are unable to purchase because they need necessities rather than things that they might want, what that will do. And then I go even further into one that's not talked about a whole lot, and that is the huge apocalypse, really, in the automobile sector. I've talked about this from time to time on these updates about channel stuffing, and I actually referenced a car dealer north of me just a little bit, and it's pretty far out in the country, and they really don't have a very large population. And that auto dealership, when I moved here, probably had, 100 cars and trucks. And now I haven't counted them, but it's multiplied tenfold. It's at least 1,000, if not 2. And it's just a place to park pretty much new or used cars and trucks that no one wants to buy. And that's because the dealers downtown are running out of space. So they're taking them out here in the country where they can park them. It's a sad thing. We address that. And I go on to talk about real estate as well. We also give a pretty good overview on the stock market, where it is, where we think it's going to be going. And then, of course, the precious metals update we do every month, of course. And as you can see, platinum lead so far this year with almost a 50% gain, gold 26 and silver about the same, and what we expect going forward. Ted Butler was at the Rick Rule conference. Thank you, Rick. You're looking good. And Ted, you're looking young. So anyway, Ted works with me and has for some time. And he was our representative for the Morgan Report this year. And he looked at a lot of companies. We highlighted those in this month's issue. Did a pretty in-depth report on the copper market. I'm not super bullish on copper, although there's a lot to be said about the copper market. So anyway, we went in depth on it. This one was written by Ted, and we'll give you some ideas how to participate or not in the copper market going forward. And as we have done every month for years now, we went into the cryptocurrency blockchain brief, called the blockchain brief. And this is now actually written by my daughter, one of them. And some of our readers are like not aligned too much with the whole crypto thing. Some are. The reason I thought it was an absolute must to put in the Morgan Report years ago is because this is the trend. This is a major trend to go into a CBDC or CBDC-like currency going forward. This is the bankers, the bankers' way out as far as I could see, at least at this time. And therefore, we cover it from as an objective a view as we can, and keep people appraised of what the major trend is and how it's affecting things. A lot on this month came with specifics in the legal structure of the crypto world. And also in this month, we did a portfolio review. I did one by video just a week ago or so. We went through the top tier and the mid-tier section. We're adding one that we think is undervalued with a lot of potential. Actually, it was on the list in the top tier. So this is a conservative, maybe not get rich, but certainly preserve your wealth and expect some pretty significant capital gains, especially where it's priced right now. Again, was on the list earlier. It's back on. Took a dog or two off the list. 3 have come off the list just because they've been acquired. We expect more mergers and acquisitions if you're a good stock picker. And the stock is probably worth buying out by a major, which is what happened to Mag Silver recently. More of those may come off the list. But we continue to look at stuff. As I said, Ted was at the Rick Rule conference. There's some suggestions there. And also, there's one that I want to talk about briefly, and that is I'm looking at the other screen because I want to put it and show it to you for free. I get paid for this work. But there is an element that is used to etch microchips in your phone, cool your refrigerator, insulate electric grids, enrich uranium, and stabilize lithium batteries. In short, it is a very important mineral, and yet the United States produces zero of it at this time. So just as we were very early, the first, to best of my knowledge, we were the first on the rare earth elements idea. Came from a rare earth elements expert, not from me, but he and I developed a relationship, and he told me he wanted to get very big in the REEs, and he did. And I'll leave his name out. He likes to keep his anonymity, and I respect that. But he said, "Hey, David, blah, blah, blah." And I said, "Yeah, I want to cover it. What's one of the most conservative investments we can make in that area?" We did it, and we certainly didn't say get all the juniors that went skyrocket, or what I call popcorn rally, just way up and then right back down. Pop, boom. Anyway, we did well on that sector. I probably got a little bit too early. Anyway, enough of my imperfections. This is an opportunity for aggressive accounts. And I wouldn't go real hard on it, but I certainly think it should be brought to your attention. And again, sometimes it's good to be first, and sometimes it isn't. But right now, I think it's important for our readers to know about it. And I'm going to show a few things on Twitter and call it the end for this weekly perspective. So I'm on the Twitter account, as you can see. It's at SilverGuru22, talking about, silver really does maintain your purchasing power. And I've said in the past, gold will preserve your wealth and silver can make you wealthy. I still think that's possible. We're starting the last phase, in my strong view, of this major bull market. And the last phase is where, as I've said so many times, 90% of the move comes in the last 10% of the time. We're just entering that now. If that happens, and I'm correct, what we'll find is that silver will narrow the gold-silver ratio. Regardless, had the honor of being with John Wells earlier in the week. You can replay it here. It's on my website. It's on his website. You can type it into a search engine and probably find it. The documentary's almost done. I should actually be getting the first final version. I say first final version because there may be some edits after that. I should get it tomorrow and be able to go through that. Here's what I want to point out from Tavi Costa, who I'll just give another shout out. This guy is really on it. Very clear thinking, fact-based. Wish him the best. He's doing a great job. I hope he has an extremely successful career. He is successful now, but anyway, enough about Tavi. This shows you the difference between gold prices and mining costs. So really, as I pointed out in this issue, the August edition of the TMR, if you're going to add, you'd really be smart to add to the equity side. Gold has had a nice run. As I said a few months back, it's going to consolidate, and it is. But for value, for money invested, you really are better off. Now, that doesn't mean I'm going back on what I said, that to start a metals portfolio, you should start with real metal first. You should. But sometimes people overload the metal, or the people that don't trust the stock market at all and want metal only, and I respect that. That's the way you think or believe. That's what you should do. However, if, let's say, you're metals only and you want to get more leverage, or you maybe have a lot and you want to kind of diversify and you want to remain in the sector, one way to do it is sell off some of your metal and buy the equities. And what I've taught from the beginning is to put big money in big companies. And that's done very, very well for us. I won't belabor that point, but you start with safety. You want to mitigate your risk, and you want to get as much reward as you can. And there are ways to do it, and that's why we outlined the TMR the way we have. I wrote a piece last week for the weekly about when money becomes God. It's pretty well received. I didn't get a lot of negative feedback, a little bit, but mostly positive about really how society at large, and not just the United States, globally, where we look for things outside of ourselves. Of course, we've got to eat and live and work and all those things. But the idea being that maybe we should take a deeper look inside as well. And I'll leave it at that, but took some effort to put that together, and I'm happy I did. I think it was somewhat of a wake-up call. So I'm going to call it quits. I'm at my 10 minutes. I try to keep them around 10 minutes. This is David Morgan of themorganreport.com. We will be simplifying the website in the near future and making it a little bit easier to gain access to us if you want the free newsletter or if you want to explore the paid service. So make a great weekend. I'll be back with you next week.
The U.S. government debt is about to cross $37 trillion. That's not a typo. That's trillion with a T. Tariffs are being used to try and even the playing fields. Global supply chains are shifting. Inflation isn't going away. And the value of your dollar? It's quietly being drained while no one is really talking about this. The truth is, we're living through the early stages of a financial reset, whether anyone wants to admit it or not. And if you're still relying on mainstream headlines or financial advisors who just tell you to write it out, you could be blindsided when things really shift. That's where the Morgan Report comes in. For over 25 years, David Morgan has been helping investors cut through the noise. He tracks what actually drives markets, from precious metals and mining stocks to global debt and monetary policy, and show you how to protect and grow your wealth when the system is under stress. This isn't just about gold and silver. It's about having a clear-eyed view of where things are headed and making sure you're not caught off guard. The Morgan Report gives you real research, honest analysis, and strategies you can act on, even in a world of rising debt, unstable currencies, and economic uncertainty. Go to themorganreport.com today, download your free report, get informed, get ahead, and take back control of your financial future. Themorganreport.com, because $37 trillion in debt won't fix itself.